A very good morning to all of you, my dear friends. This is Shafiq Ahmed, and you're all welcome to your favorite YouTube channel. Let's learn together.
So you're all welcome back to the class, my dear students, and we will continue about the coming of the factories that we started in our previous tutorial. So let us see what is next. Richard Arkwright created the cotton mill. Now this is a great man who has created this cotton mill that is fully automatic. You can see. I will show you the image also of that cotton mill. Let me show you. Here is the image. Yeah, this one. Arkwright's first spinning frame. This is the machine that he created over here, and you can see over here that there are many spindles over here. Means by using this only one wheel, this woman can produce a large number of threads at the same time, because you can see the production of the threads can be there. Let me show you with my marker also that about the production of the thread. These are the spindles, and you can see with the invention of this particular frame, different type of this spinning cotton mill, one wheel can produce a large number of threads. You can see the spinning wheels over here. So it is quite good one, and that is also one of the thing that the people wanted at that particular. That was the need of the time. Cloth production is spread all over the country, and it also carried out within village households also. यानी village में भी घर में लोग जो है ये production cloth का production करने लगे because of the invention of this cotton mill also. But the new machine, that cotton mill, was really very costly. It was very costly also. Even then, it was costly. The new machines were set up and maintained in the mill. Now the efficiency as well as the number of production quantity number in the production will also increase because of the invention of this cotton mill. And what was the advantages of cotton mill? That is also one of the very important question that might appear in your examination, board exam also. Let us go through that about the advantages of cotton mill. Within the mill, yani mill, that is under one roof, you can say under one roof. Likewise, we can find a lot of products in malls, that under the same building you will find all type of products. So that was the same thing with the invention of the cotton mill. Means within that particular building, within that particular structure, all the process were brought together under one roof and under one management. Now it can be managed very properly because of the invention of this particular new machine, cotton mill also, new invention, new devices, with all the processes of producing a particular product of cloth can be done under the same roof with the invention of this cotton mill. And it allowed a more careful supervision also over the production process. And now the people can supervise very efficiently because one man or two or three men can look at the each and every step of the production, whether the production is going on smoothly or whether there is a problem or not. So that's it was just possible to supervise all the processes of production at the under the same roof at the same time. Even a watch over quality, means quality can also be watched time and time again. Quality can also be checked because the things are going on under one roof. Now no one has to go outside to the homes of those particular village people or the worker, because previously, before the invention of the cotton mill, everyone was producing cloth or thread at their home. So the owner will have to go to their home and then check it out whether they are producing quality thread or whether quality cloth or not. But because of the invention of this cotton mill, under the same roof everything is going on, so they can look over the quality of every process of production very carefully and time again also. Even they can regulate the labor, means the time of incoming, even the time of their outgoing from the cotton mill, such as, and different rules and regulations for the labor can be implemented at the same place, because they can look at the absenteeism of labor, whether someone is coming or whether someone is doing his or her work properly or not. It can also be looked out. So the regulation of labor was also made very easily. It was also done very easily. Workers now could produce better products and in large quantities. Now there is less time consuming also. before this invention of the cotton mill, before that cotton mill, one process of production if is completed, then the other process will take a time to start, because one has to collect, suppose one has to collect the threads from one person, and then the owner of that particular thread will have to give it to the another worker for producing it in the cloth, for producing it or changing it into cloth. So that time was just now saved. The time has been saved because there every process of production was going under the same roof. And even you can see managing the labor was very very much easier. And अब आप labor को बहुत अच्छे से manage कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि all the labors are in front of you, and you can manage their all the things, problems and solutions you can give, and even manage them very carefully, all of which had been difficult to do when production was in the countryside. लेकिन ये सारे चीज possible नहीं हो रहा था. It was not possible when the production was being done in the countryside, or you can say in the villages. So it was not possible to regulate all the things, such as to look over the quality, or to regulate the worker, or careful supervision. That was the most important thing. Supervision was not possible when the production was going on in the countryside or in the village side, where when it was going on within the homes of the uh, village people. So it was not possible to supervise. But now it is very very much possible, because all the process of production are going under the same roof. So it can be supervised and very carefully watch out also. So now I am going to so let us move to our next topic, and that is quite very, very important from the point of view of this chapter, because a question from this portion also comes in the board examination. How rapid was the process of industrialization? Industrialization का process जो है वो कितना तेजी से बढ़ रहा था? How rapid was that? So we will have to measure it out also. Does industrialization mean only the growth of the factory industries? Whether industrialization means that there was a growth of factories only in the industries, that we will have to check about these two questions, my dear students. So let us see the coming of the factories. There are few reasons, and the number one, first reason, we are going to check that how rapid was the space, or how rapid was the speed of the industrialization. Cotton was a leading factory up to 1840, and it was really growing at a rapid pace. Means everywhere the people were just producing cotton and cotton products in the first phase, that is in 1818, around 1840. But after 1840, something has been changed. What changed? The demand of iron and steel also increased rapidly. Now कॉटन हैज टू competitors. कॉटन का दो एक क्या आ गया, competitors आ गए. Iron and steel were also in demand. That is after 1840, because there was rapidly the expansion of railways in England. क्योंकि इंग्लैंड में क्या हो रहा था, एक्सपेंशन ऑफ रेलवे लाइंस, रेलवे ट्रैक्स को जो है वो एक्सपैंड किया जा रहा था, बढ़ाया जा रहा था. सो देयर वाज ए नीड ऑफ आयरन एंड स्टील. वी नो कि आयरन और स्टील का जरूरत पड़ सकता है, बिकॉज दे नीड टू ले डाउन द ट्रैक्स एंड they will have to produce more and more trains also. So there was a need of iron and steel after 1840. Now you can say that the people were also having new type of job also. By 1873, Britain was exporting iron and steel worth about 77 euro million pounds. That is double the value of its cotton export. Now you can see over here, Britain was exporting iron and steel to other countries, and that was the export was around 77 million euros, pounds. Double the value of its cotton. What the cotton they were exporting, the iron and steel was exporting at double value. Cotton and metals became the most dynamic industries in Britain nowadays. Now there was only two things that was going on: dynamic industries, that was industries changing and just increasing the demand. Were two things that were cotton and the metals, and those metals include one, iron and steel. Iron and steel are both the metals. So cotton and metals, यही दो चीज का क्या था, बोलबाला था. In Britain during this late 19th century, you can say. Secondly, how can we check? The new industries could not easily displace traditional industries. Now, Now there is a question over here that how these new industries were not displacing the traditional industries in a full manner or in 100%. They were not able to displace 100% those manual or traditional industries which were not using machines. So now the new industries were not fully able to displace that traditional industries. Now there was a reason because there was a demand of manual work also, traditional work also. People used to like many of the designs from hands that we know that many of the people or each one they used to favor or give priority to the handmade goods and not the machine made goods. So that was the thing that it took a lot of time to replace or you can say displace the traditional industries. So the new industries were not fully able to displace all the traditional industries. Less than 20% of the total workforce was employed in technologically advanced industrial sectors at the end of the 19th century. Now, less than 20% is mentioned over here. Suppose that if there are 100 workers who can work in factories or industries, so among the 100 laborers or workers, only you can say less than 20% means around 19 or less than 20 of the labor who was technologically sound, means those who can operate machines at that particular time. Only 2 out of 10 or 20 out of 100 you can say, even less than 20 people were technologically advanced, they were knowing how to operate machines. So that is one of the basic reason why these new industries were not able to replace those traditional industries in full manner 100%, because of the not availability of technologically sound labors, because it was only less than 20%, my dear students. That was the only, one of the reason because of which these new industries could not flourish. Textiles was a dynamic sector. Dynamic means that keeps on changing. So textile was a dynamic sector, but a large portion of the output was produced not within factories. Mind it, my dear student, a large number of the production, that is the output, was coming not within the factories but outside, that is within domestic units. Now it is just stating and giving a clear picture that domestic units were dominating over these new industries. People were giving priority to produce the goods at their home and not in the factories or in the industries, because they were not technologically sound. They were not able to produce the goods with the help of the machines because of their illiteracy, or because you can say that they were not technologically sound also. So that is the statement is saying over here that large number of production was going on within domestic units, that is at home. घरों में ज्यादा प्रोडक्शन हो रहा था इसके बिना with not in the factories, not in the factories but in the home here also, because we have seen that only less than 20% were workers were available who were technologically sound. तो बहुत बड़ा प्रोडक्शन जो है वो घरों पे ही हो रहा था, फैक्ट्रीज पे नहीं. So we can say and conclude few things that we will deal after this third reason. The cotton or the metal industries were not able to change the pace of traditional industries. अब ये दो industries मिलकर भी, cotton and metal industries, they were not successful in changing the type of production that were going on in the traditional industries. Traditional जो पुराने जमाने के industries जो थे, those who were not using advanced machines है ना to produce goods, they are the traditional industries. So this cotton or the metal new industries were not able to change them fully. पूरे तरीके से वो change नहीं कर पाए. Traditional industries experienced many ordinary and small innovations or improvements such as food processing. Even there was change in the traditional industries also, such as there was change in the innovations, there was change in the improvements such as food processing, building, pottery, glasswork, tanning, furniture making and production of tools. And ये सब process में changes आए. Even in the traditional industries also there was a change. There was small innovations or improvements in the production process of food processing, even building, tanning, furniture making. ये सब process में change आ रहे थे, but they cannot really change fully replace these traditional industries with the new industries because of the unavailability of technologically sound workers also. And the fourth reason, new technological changes occurred slowly and took a long time to spread. Technological changes, when there is a new technology, when it arrives in the market, when it is available, then people used to hesitate, है ना, लोग जो है थोड़ा हिचकिचाते हैं उसको accept करने के लिए. Suppose if there is a new particular software or new mobile in the market, then people used to hesitate to buy or purchase that new particular mobile or new technology because they feel it they feel risky to accept such new technologies, so that they used to wait for the time when there would be a successful experiment regarding that new technology. And if people used to see that yes, there is a new technological changes is there and it is working also, then people used to accept such changes, or then people used to accept such new technological changes. So new technological changes did not spread dramatically across the industrial landscape, है ना. ये न्यू टेक्नोलॉजीज या न्यू मशीन्स बहुत तुरंत ही जो है एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर लिए गए. इट टुक टाइम, है ना. इट कुड नॉट स्प्रेड ड्रामेटिकली, है ना. ऐसा नहीं कि तुरंत नए मशीन आने लगे और लोग खरीदने लगे. People were hesitating, and we can see also that even new machines were expensive also. New technology was expensive, and even merchants and industries were cautious about using it. वो लोग डरते थे. कौन लोग? New those merchants and the industrialist people, they were thinking, they were very cautious that if we will purchase a huge machine which is very expensive, then whether we would be able to operate it successfully or not. Even the cost of maintenance was very high also at that time. So that was the thing, that the new technology was not acceptable everywhere by everyone. The machines often broke down and repair was costly also. तो मशीन क्योंकि बार बार जो है वो ब्रेक डाउन खराब हो जाते थे, and repairing cost was also very expensive also. And even we have seen that only less than 20% workers were available who can operate such new technologically advanced machines. So that was also the reason that people were not accepting those new technologies at first hand. They were just waiting for the time. So that's why they were not as effective. Which one? New technological changes were not quite as effective as their inventors and manufacturers claimed also. कभी कभी होता है ना, कोई मशीन आता है तो उसके इन्वेंटर जो होते हैं या उसके मैन्युफैक्चरर्स हैं बहुत सारे दावा करते हैं. They used to promise a lot of things, that their product will produce quality goods, and it will take less time, and it will not break down, and it will last long also. So such particular characteristic or the features of the new machines were claimed by the inventors and the manufacturers, but those claims were false. Maybe was not going effectively, and their claim were getting on very false also. है ना. जो क्लेम करते थे इन्वेंटर्स और मैन्युफैक्चरर्स वो उतना इफेक्टिव नहीं होते थे, because the machines were getting broke down also, and repair was costly. And even we have seen that people were also not ready to accept the new changes, new things also. So so let us move to our next topic. The coming of the fact is conclusion क्या निकलता है? What is the conclusion? We have gone through 4 different type of reasons. So the conclusion is that the typical or the average worker in the mid-19th century was not a machine operator. That because we have seen that only less than 20% operator were available who can operate machines. So the average worker in the mid-19th century was not a machine operator, but they were traditional craftsperson and labor. They were traditional workers, those who cannot operate machines in a very good way, you can say. So that the conclusion that we have come up over here, that the workers were not fully aware of the new advanced technology, and it was not acceptable also at that particular time because of many reasons that we have seen in the 4 reasons that we have discussed just now. So the conclusion is really very clear that machine operator was available. Machine operator was not available at that time in the mid-19th century. Traditional or the average worker was the traditional craftsperson. जो average workers थे वो traditional crafts person होते थे या traditional labor होते थे, those who were not able to operate machines. So that is the conclusion of these 4 reasons. Let us move ahead. Let us complete one more topic at least over here. A case study is there about the James Watt. You might have heard his name, that he was the first inventor of the steam engine. James Watt improved the steam engine produced by Newcomen. Newcomen was one of his friend, and James Watt did what? He improved the invention of Newcomen. Newcomen actually invented steam engine first before James Watt, but he did not claim. And James Watt just improved that particular steam engine and patented that new engine in 1781. So that's why we came to know that James Watt has invented the steam engine. But the real inventor was Newcomen, but he did not claim it. And Newcomen invention was improved by James Watt. His industrialist friend Matthew Boulton manufactured the new model, but for years he could find no buyers. Now, what is the reason? Matthew Boulton manufactured the new model of steam engine, but he could not find any buyer in the market, because we have just gone through the reasons, because people were not accepting the new technology or the new invention at first hand. So at the beginning of the 19th century, there were not more than 321 steam engines all over England. Only 321 steam engines were available till that is in the beginning of the 19th century. What really they were doing, they were just using a steam engine to operate those machines also, so that they can use less labor. They can use labor of or the power of the steam engine to operate the wheels that we have seen in the cotton mill. So operating the mills with the hand, and if you will operate those wheels with the help of the steam engine, then it will produce more goods at less time. Now, out of these 321 steam engines which were there in England in the beginning of 19th century, 80 were in cotton industries. 80 का इस्तेमाल cotton industries में हो रहा था, around 40%. 9 in wool industries, and the rest in mining, canal works, and iron works. So that was the use of the steam engine in the beginning of the 19th centuries in England. Steam engine were not used in any of the other industries till much later in that particular century. उस सेंचुरी में स्टीम इंजन का और कोई अदर इस्तेमाल नहीं हो पाया. That was the really thing. So even most of the powerful new technology enhanced productivity of labor manifold, many times, because of the invention of this steam engine. Now the production was enhanced, it was increased at a really very great speed, and it really multiplied the production. But it was still slow to be accepted by industrialists, because we have come to know the reasons, because it was just breaking down, and the repair cost was also very high, and even there were no sufficient number of workers available in the country to operate such machines. So that is all, my dear students. Till here we will study today, and rest we will continue in our next tutorial. Please stay at home and stay safe. Thank you all, my dear students.
Hope that you have liked the video, and we will meet again in our next video release of the tutorial. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get the information of the next release of the tutorial. Please share it with your friends and others also. Thank you for the time being. Take care. Stay at home. Bye bye. Take care.